say this about Catanzaro, and y'all write this down. All right, make sure you write it in big, bold print. All right, that kid is a freshman, and he has not had a good year. I think anybody could see that. His success in practice he hasn't had the same success in the game. But Dawson Zimmerman, we wouldn't have given a nickel for last year, and I believe he's a Ray Guy finalist this year. He was a first-year starter last year, and Catanzaro, I just believe with all my heart before he leaves here is going to be one of the most consistent kickers we've had. I really believe that. But he's a freshman, and he's had a tough year, but I still believe in him, and I'm gonna hang in there. I'm gonna hang in there and keep believing in him because I think he's gonna be a good one. I really do. But it's been a tough year this year, and no question about it. It's been tough for all of us, but it's not where we're going, or it's not where we are or what's behind us. It's all about where we're going, and that's what we're focusing on. Just trying to keep moving forward and go from there.
With the bad luck you've had in the red zone, such as Nuke slipping the other day, does it come an issue where you just kind of like start thinking mentally, man, can we get this in there?
Well, we've had, I think, again, when you've had the struggles in the kicking game that we've had, and you put, 15-play drive together and you get nothing, or a 12-play drive. I mean, that's hard to do now. I mean, you look at some of the drives we've had where we've gotten no points. I mean, it's tough. And I think, we've maybe pressed a little bit, and because if you look at some of our miscues that have hurt us, a lot of them have come in the red zone. Just like the other night. We get a missed assignment on the first snap, then we jump off sides. We got another series where we fumble the handoff on the first snap, then we drop the snap on the second. And you just just kind of miscues. And I think, and then Nuke falls down. I mean, Lord have mercy. You got a great matchup. I mean, here's a kid that he's either going to catch that for a touchdown or it's incomplete, and you're trying to make a ball play and win the game, and you're trying to give your playmaker an opportunity, and he fell, he tripped up, but he certainly didn't want to do that, and it cost us. But that's ball. That's things like that happen. It's been that kind of year for us, but. I think a little bit of that's just been pressing, but we just gotta keep grinding. We just gotta keep grinding, and that it's gonna turn. It's gonna turn. I know it will.
Talk about dealing with difficult situations and bouncing back. Talk about what Daquan went through before the season started and how he has responded and played this year.
Perfect example of a guy maturing. That's what he's done. He's just matured throughout his career, and he's just been a real inspiration to everybody. Coaches, his teammates, hopefully people on the outside looking in. I mean, he's played one of the best seasons that anybody in the country has played. I mean, he's a finalist for all kind of awards, and he's earned it. I mean, the guy just he caused the fumble, and if he'd have scored that touchdown, that had just kind of capped it off for him. He's had an interception. I mean, leading the nation in sacks. I think he's second in the nation in tackles for loss. But just awful proud of him. Has really become an emotional leader for our football team, and just plays every week. Just keeps going back to work. Just refuses to quit, refuses to, and I went in there, that was one of the hardest things the other night, walking in that locker room and seeing this big old kid sitting in over there in that corner just crying like a baby, and just in pain, and go over there and just put your arms around him, just lay it all on the line for his teammates, for Clemson, because all you can do is all you can do, and a lot of times you can do your very best and still not get the results you want. But he just continues to come back, just like yesterday in the team meeting. I mean, just continues to be a leader. Out there at practice last night, he'll go play a great game this week, and that's what you're supposed to do. You you keep doing your very best no matter what, and that's what he's done, and just really proud of him. Really proud of him.
Has that been his biggest growth this year, is leadership?
No question. And his consistency. I mean, we've all seen DeQuan. I mean, there's been, since he got here as a freshman, he's had moments where you just go, wow, holy smokes. But then he'd have other moments where you'd say, well, where is he? Because you have such high expectations for him. And the biggest thing is he's just his consistency in performance, of playing his best. And that's really what you're trying to have in your program. That's what you're trying to teach. You're trying to, there's a standard of excellence that we commit to, and those guys that consistently perform to a certain level, if you get enough guys doing that, you're going to be really good. And he's been one of those guys that has consistently performed at a high level every single week, and that's one of the reasons we've been able to really get this thing going, especially on defense.
Sounds like you began to chip away at some of what I was going to ask you about, and that's after 2 games you mentioned you were concerned about how the team would respond after. You were afraid that, I think you were actually fearful that you might have gone over the edge. Are there others like Bowers who have been able to reel everybody back in and get everything set up under?
No question. I mean, and again, you draw on your experiences, and I've been around, 20 years of college football teams. I've been around teams where you've had some tough years, and maybe some teams where, as soon as things didn't go good, guys would quit, or they would not play as hard, or they'd grab a hamstring, or they would splinter or point fingers. I've been around that, and so you have to watch and see how your guys respond. And these guys, they just hadn't been any of that. If anything, we've gotten stronger, and that's really what it ought to happen. If you've got the right stuff, when you struggle, you should get stronger, and that's what this team's done, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off in a big way. That's been a real positive for me, in evaluating our program and knowing that, because when you have what's happening with our team, with this difficult, I ain't talking about nobody's lined up and handed our butts to us now. If we were getting beat where people were just handing your rears to you and guys weren't competing, I'd be doing a lot of soul searching right now. That's just not the case. It's just not the case at all. And so when you have some of the just gut-wrenching things that have happened to this football team, 2nd and 26 with 16 seconds and no timeouts, and you get a pass interference call. Just gut-wrenching things that have, gone against our team, and they just keep responding. Close loss, they keep responding. They keep coming back to work. They get closer. They get stronger. That's a sign that you're doing the right things. That's a sign that you got the right kind of people with their hands on your players. That's a sign that you have the right things in place within your program. That's what that tells me. And I'm really proud to see that. Because you don't really know what you got till you face some tough times. But we got the right stuff, and no doubt about it. We got the right stuff, and we just got to keep moving forward. And I told somebody on the radio show the other night, I don't need a lot of patience. I just need a little, just a little. I don't need a lot, but I need a little, because if we keep doing things we're doing, and we're keep teaching, coaching, recruiting, we're not going to just win. We're going to win big. We're going to win big at Clemson, and it may not look that way this year because if you just focused on the results and where we are, you can get caught up in all that. But I'm more confident than ever that we're moving in the right direction, and we got the right stuff. We got a bunch of guys down there in that power hour that's going to help us with some issues, and we got a bunch of guys on the way that's going to help us. So I just am really encouraged to see how things are holding up under fire from the inside, and that's a real compliment to everybody that's involved, but mostly to our football players and how they've grown and matured, and that's the culture you want to have.
The first 7 games of this season, approximately 30 points a game. The past 3 in the low teens. Is that directly related to the loss of Andre Ellington? Was his injury understated, or is it more devastating than you imagined?
Well, I mean, he's our most explosive player, and like I said, we're hitting a lot of doubles, and leaving a bunch of guys on third base, and that's we're missing a few elements. We scored more points than any team in Clemson history last year. We didn't just luck up and do that. We got good coaches that know what they're doing, and I don't think we had many 15-play drives last year. We've had a bunch of long drives this year, and last year's team, 8 drives of 9 plays or more, you scored a lot of points. And it's just we're growing up in some areas, and certainly not having Ellington, you lose some explosiveness, in your offense. So that's why it's important when you grinding it out, you got to come away with points, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. You got to come away with points. If we're instead of being 6 for 12 from the 20 in, if we're 10 of 12, if you look at everybody, everybody's 10 of 12, 12 of 12, 15 of 15, 13 of 15, 9 of 10, 10 of 10. If we're just on par with everybody else, we're probably having different conversations right now. It changes the way you call the game, changes the way other people call the game. There's a lot of things, momentum, rhythm, all that stuff. But it is what it is, and we just got to keep plugging.
Being optimistic for the future, do you try to work on avoiding this week? Is this a situation where you think?
I guess speaking to the patience of the fans, do you think it's reasonable for fans to wonder how the play calling responsibility of offense is divided, and to get more specifics on how that goes on game day?
There's no play calling responsibilities divided. Billy Napier calls the plays, does a great job at it. Billy Napier, let me tell you, Billy Napier is a heck of a football coach, and so is Kevin Steele. We got very, very competent coordinators at Clemson, very competent. And, they've put us in position to win every week. Now, have they been perfect? No. But I call all the bad plays on offense and defense. I call all the bad ones. I told y'all that from day one. But we got good coaches, and I got all the confidence in the world in Billy and Kevin. Billy didn't just get dumb over the last year. Y'all were all at the championship game last year, and we just went up and down the field. And again, scored a bunch of points all year long, and a bunch of touchdowns. And yeah, you got to have good players, but you got to give those players opportunities, and you got to put them in position. You're going against some good defenses in this league. And we moved the ball, right at 400 yards the other night. And, you pull your hair out when some things happen the way they have happened, but there's no, there's no whatever you call it, split duties or whatever, none of that.
I guess from what you're talking about, you talked a lot about your players' motivation and how they haven't split. Are you pretty confident that just going to bowl will be enough motivation for them to get up for a Wake Forest game this week? Are you pretty confident in their motivation right now?
They just want to win. They work hard. These guys, everybody sees them on game day, but they don't see them at 6:30 in the morning on Monday. They don't see them Monday night and Tuesday and Wednesday. These guys work hard. They work extremely hard, so they're motivated to win, and certainly you want to go to a bowl and all those things. Yeah, those are all things that you're that you're shooting for. And